Hey guys, it's Caden. Welcome to another Autism Digest interview. As you can see, I'm outside my studio once again here in beautiful Albany, New York, because I noticed that one of my favorite writers was going to be in town. You might have known him from The Simpsons, Seinfeld, Futurama, and just recently being dubbed the Gordon Ramsay of fast food, the amazing Bill Oakley. Thanks for coming on, Bill.
Hello, great to be here.
All right, a lot of people definitely recognize you. You've been a part of many childhoods, myself included, and Steamed Ham's meme is huge, which is part of the reason why you're in town.
Yes.
But for those that don't know you, do you mind telling a bit of your story in your own words?
Yeah, I'm a comedy writer. For a lot of my career, I worked with my partner Josh Weinstein. We were writers on The Simpsons back in the day in the '90s, and we were the showrunners for seasons 7 and 8. That was where I wrote the Steamed Ham segment. Since then, I've worked for dozens of other TV shows, and I also do a lot of online and real life food things these days. Actually, I produce food events all over and this is one of them, all over the country. The Steamed Hams event we were referring to.
That's awesome, and look where you are now. My next question for you is, do you have any other experiences interacting with the autism and neurodiverse community that you want to discuss?
I mean, I don't know. See, I also have to say, when I was working on animated shows primarily in the '90s, it wasn't really well. It wasn't like diagnosed like this. You didn't. There people didn't. The whole idea of the spectrum and that kind of thing, didn't think really existed in that time. And so, like, you heard about people with Asperger's and things like that, but I don't think they even have that anymore, right?
Right.
So I can't say for sure. I definitely worked with a lot of people who were neurodiverse, but they weren't specifically diagnosed in that way back then.
That's awesome, and look where we are now, not only in society, but in media, too. I agree, representation has gotten a whole lot
For
better,
sure.
which transitions beautifully into my next question. You've written a lot over the years, and some of the characters in The Simpsons have their own unique quirks. How do you balance comedy with respect in your writing?
I think that's a good, like, that is a tricky question because part of comedy is making fun of things. And so it has to be, I think generally we tried to make fun of things, but not in such a mean way. And the things that we made fun of were more things that are generally a human condition across the board. People's shortcomings, like Homer Simpson, right? He's got a lot of issues that are issues that everyone has, and so do many characters on The Simpsons. So we're trying to do that kind of thing. We're trying to depict people generally in a pretty humane way, and we're trying to get comedy from things, not from making fun of people so much or fun of people's quirks, but problems that we all share.
And that's exactly what entertainment should be all about, balancing humor with respectfulness and empathy, which is the main problem in modern comedy nowadays, in my opinion.
Honestly, that's why a lot of the comedy that we did back then, and even that I still do today, involves food, because it's one of the few things that everybody has in common.
Exactly. Speaking of what we all have in common, my next question for you is, how do you think the current comedy industry can prove so more doors open for neurodiverse creators?
I think the thing about the comedy industry now is that it's not the industry is open. Like it used to be in both in TV, movies, and all that type of stuff. There used to be gatekeepers, right? There used to be people who were like determining you're the person who gets on, you're the person who we're going to hire, you're the person who's going to write the script. These days, it's all wide open because you don't have to. Half the time I tell people who want to be writers, I say, why don't you just do this on YouTube? Why waste years trying to break through when you could already have more viewers and be making more money on YouTube? So I feel like that there's opportunities are there for people who are diverse people and people of every description don't have to go through the same channels that you used to have to go through.
I absolutely agree. That's why I love what I do here at Autism Died, just because we have a magazine, and that alone is huge, over 50,000 to 60,000 readers. But YouTube's where it's had one work that was recently produced by us got over 2 million views, I think within a
Wow.
week, which is incredibly impressive. So I
Yeah, that's
definitely
great.
feel that. Which leads to my last question for you. What does the future hold for you. Do you have any projects that you want to promote, or could we see you involved in the Simpsons 2 movie, or is there not much you can say without
No,
getting in trouble?
I don't have any. I don't work for The Simpsons anymore, except and only things like that have to do with me, like steamed hams, right? I don't write for that show anymore, but I do. I do have two other things that I do. One, like I said, is I produce a lot of food events and food content online. You can find that at billoakley.com. I also have a project that my main writing project is a thing that's called Space 1969, and it's on Audible. It stars Natasha Lyonne, and it is a comedy, kind of almost like a radio show. And it became a bestseller there. And I've been working on the sequel for 4 years now called Space 1972, and that comes out June 11th. So take a look for that.
Oh, that sounds amazing, and we'll definitely be on the lookout for that. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this interview, guys. Thank you so much to Bill for inviting me over to talk to him. If you guys want to see more amazing interviews, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Autism Digest channel. By the time this interview comes out, our May issue will be out, centered around the arts. You can get that by going to autismdigest.com, and stay tuned for the audio file of this interview to be posted on our Spotify. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.